Very warm good morning to everyone. My name is Jyoti Nautiyal and today I'm here to begin the session of English for class 4. The topic for today is collective nouns. Now children, I have shared a few links here. You can see it later on. Let's begin with the topic. Now children, let's discuss what exactly is collective noun. Now you are already aware about the nouns. The naming words are called nouns, right? But when you see a collection or a group of name, place, animal, thing, are you supposed to call them with the same thing, with the same name? No, right? So this is what we are going to discuss today, okay? When you come across a site where you see a group or a collection or many nouns together of same type at the same time, how are you going to give them names? So there is a list of those nouns which we are going to discuss. The very first collective noun is a swarm of bees. Now here we are talking about the bees, the ones who sting. Now all these bees, they reside or live in a beehive, right? So when you see them together at the same place at the same time, you call them swarm, a swarm of bees. When you see many ships together at the same place at the same time, now I'm going to repeat this again and again. So at the same place at the same time, many ships one beside the other, that sight, that view is called a fleet of ships. Similarly, we have a fleet of cars when you see many cars together. Now when you see many people together, like you see in the market or maybe in the interval time in your school itself when you have lunch breaks, isn't it? So that group is called a crowd when people are walking here and there at the same time at the same place. So that group is called a crowd. The term used is a crowd. Now for students of the same age group in a room at the same place at the same time, you call them a class. Now when you see the photographs assembled together in a file, that particular file is called an album. Okay? An album of photographs. Similarly, when the stamps are assembled together, that is called an album of stamps. Likewise, when you see raindrops together, you call it a shower of rain. When many flowers, they are tied up together of various colors, variety, size, you call it a bunch. And when it is nicely done, you call it a bouquet of flowers. When you see many grapes together, you call it a bunch of grapes. A bunch of keys, many keys together. Many bananas together, a bunch of bananas. Now, the young ones of tiger are called cubs. And when you come across a site or you see many cubs together at the same place at the same time, you call them a litter of cubs. Likewise, a litter of kittens, young ones of cat. A litter of pups, young ones of dogs. Now when you see many eggs together at the same crate, you call it a clutch of eggs. The site is called a clutch of eggs. Many arrows together in the same place, you call it a quiver. Q-U-I-V-E-R, a quiver of arrows. Now, many drawers together assembled, one on top of the other, it's a wooden item, you call it a chest of drawers. Now, many steps together, you call it a flight of steps. A ream of papers. When you see many papers packed together, you call it a ream of papers, and thing to be noted is that these papers are new. It's a new packet. Now, a group of players playing the same game, you call it a team of players. For example, cricket team, football team, volleyball team. Okay? Now, when you see same kind of animals, many, at the same place, at the same time, you call it a herd of buffaloes. Okay? They are grazing together. Similarly, a herd of cows together at the same place, same time. And when you come across a site where you see many elephants together, you call it a herd. So herd is used for all three items, all three animals, elephants, cows, and buffaloes. Now, when you see many people standing up, singing songs melodiously, same song is being sung, maybe by children, maybe by elder people, you call it a choir. It is done in a great harmony. You call it a choir of singers. Now, when you see people watching an event at the same place, at the same time, you call it a group. At times, they are also called spectators. Now, children, when you see many people extremely angry and they are up to something, they are going to do something wrong, they are really agitated and furious, you call it a mob of angry people. Now, when you talk about mountains and hills, the term which we use is range. A range of hills, a range of mountains. Thing to be noted is that mountains are present in higher altitude and hills are present in lower altitude. Mountains are snow-capped and hills are green. Now, when you see many wolves together, same place, same time, you call it a pack of wolves. Similarly, cards, many cards together, you call it a pack of cards. Likewise, when you come across a site where you see musicians playing their musical instruments together at the same place, at the same time, you call it a troupe or a band. Both terms are correct. Many stars together, the term used is galaxy. Or you can also use the term cluster. Both terms are correct. Now, when you see many robbers, many thieves together at the same place, at the same time, you call it a gang. Yes, that is the term which is used, a gang. Now, many soldiers together, the term used is army. An army of soldiers. Many books together, one on top of the other, in a haphazard way, is called a stack of books. Now, same books, when arranged properly, organized properly in their shelves, you call it a library of books. When many birds are flying together at the same place, at the same time, you call it a flock of birds. Similarly, many trees growing together and you find it really difficult to differentiate that exactly how many trees are there. The whole lot is called a clump of trees. And when you see many trees growing together densely, that site is called a groove of trees. Okay? So children, that's it.